Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. And in this segment, we're going to talk about what about Barr. Unless you've been under a rock lately, Barr has just recently been held in contempt of the House of Representatives. But before we get into that, just a brief little background on him. In 1990 and 91, he was the Assistant Attorney General. And in 1991 to 1993, he was the Attorney General under Bush 41. The reason why I bring that up is he is no stranger to this position and this authority. So when he came to this job under Trump, he kind of already knew what he was doing. So, he's in contempt of the House of Representatives. How did that kind of happen? Well, we'll start with first, Mueller released his report. And Mueller and Barr together redacted it. And they used 4 colors in redacting it, and the color coded was intended to kind of indicate why whatever redaction. I don't know the exact definitions of the code other than 4 colors were used. Barr intends to release the redacted version, but that's going to take time because the redaction is going to take time. So in the meantime, Barr does a 4-page summary. In his summary, he says no collusion and no obstruction. He gives Mueller a chance to read his 4-page summary, and Mueller goes, no, that's all right, I trust you. But once the news media starts reporting on the 4-page summary and they start nitpicking, Mueller starts whining about it. And the bottom line is, Mueller's whining at how the media is nitpicking, and Mueller feels like he's the target. Well, too bad. In the meantime, Barr releases a redacted copy, and then he's got the unredacted copy, and they call it like a secure room, where authorized House of Representative members are allowed to go in, and they can read it. They cannot leave with it. They can take notes, but they can only read it in this secure room. And because of the things that the mainstream media was saying, the Senate wants Barr to report. So Barr appears before the Senate, and if you've been paying attention to some of the news reports, Barr kind of makes the Democrat senators look a little foolish. Here's where the plot...
Just a little.
Here's where the plot thickens, and then I'm going to let the guys comment, okay? The House. Well, now they want Barr to report. But the House of Representatives, they don't want to look foolish like the senators. They're going to let their staff members question Barr. And Barr tells them to get bent. And I'll stop right there and let you guys comment.
Well, I think Bill Barr he's not going to play their reindeer games. They keep throwing out there, we want to see the unredacted copy. We want to see the unredacted copy. As you pointed out, any one of them at any time they feel like it can go see the unredacted copy. Yet they don't. This is all a game. It's meant to make people look bad. It's meant to incite more innuendo and to keep this thing going until the 2020 election. That's how I view it.
No, and I think Mac is absolutely right there. This is just something the Democrats are doing to try to make Trump look bad. And they're really, in my opinion, they've reached a point where they're making themselves look bad. I mean, it's over. Attorney General Barr, who, contrary to what Juan Williams says, is not Donald Trump's personal attorney. I believe that's technically Giuliani, isn't it? But anyway,
yeah, correct.
But anyway, you know, Barr has basically told him it's over. It's over. It's done. We've got to move on. And I think the term Barr used in the before the Senate is really the right term. They're weaponizing politics. That's exactly what the Democrats are doing.
Well, it would be illegal for him to release that document to the public unredacted.
Yeah.
So they want him to break the law to do this, so they can say, aha, you broke the law, and then go after him for that and get him out of there so they can get someone else in there.
Keep in mind, Jerry Nadler, the one pushing it, for those who recall when Bill Clinton was impeached, Ken Starr did his Starr report, and the Democrats were hell bent in that report not being released. And this goes to their hypocrisy of doing a complete 180 right now.
Yeah.
So
Well, the thing is, to follow up a little bit, and I think what Mac was saying, not to put words in your mouth, but this is a typical Democratic ploy, and this is nothing new. And to be fair, the Republicans have used it from time to time, too. It's kind of a political gamesmanship. It's not quite the same thing, but I remember when Bush Sr. was going, no new taxes, no new taxes, no new taxes. Then the Democrats in Congress kept saying, we need more taxes, we need more taxes, we need more taxes, till he finally agreed with them, we need more taxes, and as soon as he signed the paperwork, Bush is a liar, he gave you new taxes.
Yep.
And they're trying to do the same thing.
Well,
here.
they're hoping for perjury traps. And when they were
Yeah.
talking about the president sitting down and being interviewed by Mueller, I told my wife, I said, he's got to be out of his mind to do that. What they do in these perjury traps is they'll say, what color is Marty's van? Well, I answer burgundy. Well, it's not burgundy, it's maroon. Yeah, it's maroon, and now I've lied.
Yeah.
There's the difference between a knowing untruth and being mistaken or inaccurate are two different things, but they don't like to make them the same thing for their political
Well, TJ,
purposes.
when did you quit beating your wife?
yeah, that's a trick question.
Yeah. But I think it's the same sort of thing, is my point, you know.
I've met his wife, and he wouldn't dare.
I would never. In any event, Barr's being now held in contempt, and if I understand this correctly, he wasn't even subpoenaed. They wanted him to appear, and then when Barr found out that the representatives himself would not be the ones asking the questions, it would be their staff members that line up behind him. Okay, I think he saw through their game, and the representatives know they're not going to outthink Barr, and it's to the point now where they're just kind of hoping that maybe someone on their staff can trip him up, and Barr sees the trap. He's not going to fall into it, and like I mentioned, he's already been in this position once before. This position is nothing new to him. Trump couldn't have picked a better person. I made the comment to Mac the other day. It's a shame he didn't make Barr his first choice. Mm-hmm. But I have a theory here, and this is what I wanted to bounce off the guys here. With the way the House of Representatives is going after Barr right now, and do not kid yourself, they are going after Barr. They are going after Barr as a means of going after Trump, I believe. But here's my theory, and I'll say this first before I say my theory. Barr knows Trump didn't. Barr knows Trump was spied on. Barr knows Trump didn't collude. Barr knows Trump didn't obstruct. Yet they're calling Barr a liar for him saying these things. And here's my theory. My theory is these Democrats are going to make Barr Trump's strongest defender. That's my theory. I mean, you can think of all the people out there, all the politicians or whoever's in whatever position who might come to Trump's defense. My theory is Barr could become Trump's biggest defender because of the way that the Democrats are going after Barr now.
Well, the President Trump is an elected official. He's fair game to some degree. But what they did in this whole Mueller probe was to go after people who aren't fair game. And the president's associated with some bad people. I won't deny or defend that. But going after his family, and this is why if I were him, I would never have my family involved in the government at all. It was a mistake when John Kennedy did it with Robert Kennedy. It looks like nepotism.
You do realize they suspect that it's probably some of the never-Trumpers that pushed this latest subpoena.
Oh, it would surprise me a bit.
Trump's son.
Yeah.
What are
Trump
they
Jr.
protecting? Is what I want. Is the question
You mean
that I want answered?
What are the Democrats protecting?
No, what are the never-Trumpers and the Democrats protecting?
Okay, yeah. Well, I think a lot of it is. The Democrats know they really have nothing for 2020, so they're trying to create something they can keep before the voters, You know, so and the Never Trumpers might fit right in with this.
Yeah.
That they're more or less complicit with the Democrats because they don't really have anything for 20. I mean, all the numbers are great for Trump as president. All
Well,
the
what the
numbers are great.
Republican Party has proposed for the last, well, most of my life is a lot of promises that when they get elected, when they say, "Oh, put us in, and we'll take care of this, that, or the other thing," and when they get in there, they forget about us. They don't take care of anything but themselves.
Yeah.
One another one of my theories is, and I've heard this on the radio. I've heard it on the Five, Greg Gutfield. Okay, our favorite show. But anyways, you know, Greg Gutfield, he's said it a few times now. He thinks, and I've kind of thinking this too myself before Greg said it. What they're doing now is they're going after Barr as a preventive smear, we'll call it that. They're smearing Barr so that when Barr gets the truth, when the mainstream media reports, the news headline might say, Barr, held in contempt of Congress, announces ...
Yeah.
You know, in other words, with each headline, Barr, held in contempt of Congress,
Yeah.
reports whatever, you know what, whatever Barr finds, as if it's going to discredit what Barr legitimately discovered.
Well, you're familiar with this term. Marty isn't because he didn't work with us, but you remember I used to use the term accuse the accuser.
Yeah, well, that's what they're doing.
And that's a tactic
That's what
that
they're
people
doing.
would use in when we worked in security, we would find employees in various violations of various policies, and when we would confront them with that, their response very often wasn't to fess up and own it, but they would accuse us of something then. Oh,
It's a
you
form
were
of-
rude to me, or you're only doing it because I'm black, or
Or
It's
you're
a
only
form-
doing it because you're Trump's wingman.
It's a
Right.
form of an ad hominem attack.
right.
It's a form of an ad hominem attack. We don't like what this guy is saying, therefore we're going to smear him, therefore he's evil.
Well, it's what they do. This is what I was getting to with the people who aren't elected officials. They're going to smear them to a degree, ruin their lives. Couldn't care less. Whatever. It goes back to Harry Reid when he was confronted about lying about Mitt Romney on the floor of the Senate. Well, he lost, didn't he? And we've said it
Yeah.
before on this
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
how often the ends justify the means. Our cause is so noble.
Yeah. Well, that's why they're a pragmatist.
Well, the Republican Party always fails, and I'm hoping the president will not. They always fail to point out, A, what their plan is, and point out what the other guy's plan is. And maybe that's a topic for another show. We'll point out what that plan is, and we'll make you aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else, gentlemen?
No,
All right. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. I hope we gave you some thoughts to consider. And as we say here on the Michigan Conservative Roundtable, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.